Should I date an unemployed guy? What should I do if a guy doesn't offer to pay for my drink? Should you date a broke, unemployed guy? If you ugly, and that is your last hope and dying wish, sure, go ahead. Who's gonna pay for the meal? Sprinkle, sprinkle. I've been with him 4 years and we still ain't moved out or have a ring, and currently he has no job. Then you're a prisoner. You've been kidnapped by both men.
Oh, man.
Honestly, I don't even know why he's still there.
This woman is going viral all over her TikTok with her dating advice for young women. Could this be the female Andrew Tate?
Too perfect in every single metric. I'm a gift to female.
Let's talk about it. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about SheraSeven, a lady who I keep seeing all over TikTok with her viral, punchy dating advice to young women and her little catchphrase, sprinkle, sprinkle. Often her dating advice is coupled with this idea that you should not date broke men or somebody who is unemployed, and that women should be going after high-value men or men with good finances who are going to provide. In many of the videos that I'm seeing, she gives me vibes of a female Andrew Tate.
I'm too brilliant a man. Too perfect in every single metric. I'm a gift to female.
Or maybe a female Kevin Samuels.
You don't got no money.
You ain't fine enough for no money.
Let's listen to some of what SheraSeven has to say. Before we get into watching some of her videos, please like and subscribe. I want as many people to find this channel as possible so you know what to do.
Feel bad asking for money? Do you think men feel bad asking for sex? I don't think you should feel bad at all. Men are supposed to give you money. You know why? Because they're trying to impress you, and what impresses you is money, right? So there you go. They should want to take you shopping, take you on a nice date, give you a little spending money, pay some of the bills. Okay, they can't improve your life. Why are they there? Okay, if you have to spend money to go meet them on a date you gotta pay for or pay half of, why are you there? If they're gonna take the romance, like someone said earlier, out of dating by asking you to go half, what are you there for? You romance yourself and stay home or order takeout. So why are they there if they're not there to impress? Okay, they're not there to impress you, then you're trying to impress them. You say y'all all busted too? Yeah, that's what all busted say when they can't afford women. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
You can see where I'm going with the comparison to maybe those alpha male podcasters who are giving advice to women and men about what they should look for in relationships. Here we have her on the flip side, taking in sort of a feminine analysis of dating and saying that men should be providers and coming to the table with good finances for their dates. Of course, it's going to be different strokes for different folks. Some women are fine with the 50-50 thing. I personally would much rather date a man who is providing, but because I would fulfill the nurturing and caretaking part of a relationship. So I see where she's going there. If you want to be provided for and that's what you're looking for in a relationship, maybe you shouldn't bother with a man who is not going to bring that to the table or who does not have plans to start bringing that to the table. I think that's a clear distinction that should be drawn there.
When a man says, I've been taken advantage of financially before, he's trying to tell you he's not going to give you any type of money. So your response should be, oh, I'm so sorry we're having financial issues. I didn't know. Are you sure you're able to, be out and about and paying for dinner and things like that? Because you shouldn't really be dating right now if you're unable to, afford it.
Okay. So if a man says, I've been financially taken advantage of, it's an excuse because he does not want to use money or invest money in your relationship. I could see that being true in some instances, but I could also see a culture of young women who are just simply using men for their finances and or maybe who are dating people who they are wholly unattracted to. They don't like their personality. They don't like who they are when they are with them, but they do like the money and they do like being provided for by a man. So I can see where some men would use that as an excuse, and I see where some men could say a statement like, yeah, I have been financially taken advantage of, and that would be very true. Now, does that mean that he should stop providing for you in their relationship because something happened to them in the past? No. What has happened to you in the past should not be used as an excuse for the person you are currently with. And if a man told me that, my response to that would be, I'm a different person. I'm not the same person who would have taken advantage of you in the past. Whereas Shera's advice is to take on a more manipulative stance and say, well, I'm so sorry you don't have the proper finances to provide for this relationship, and sort of manipulate him into coughing up money.
Feelings are temporary. Feelings will be gone in 10 minutes. But, and I always say this, people are making lifelong decisions based on how they feel for 10 minutes. And that's why people wake up, look around and be like, dang, I really messed up. Because they're not smart enough to realize feelings are temporary, choices are permanent. So you gotta write that down too.
I get why people are drawn to this woman. She's very straightforward and direct. She calls it like she sees it, and she's telling you like it is for the most part. It's reminiscent of Ben Shapiro's
Facts don't care about your feelings.
It's true, at least what she said in this video here, that feelings are temporary and maybe you shouldn't be driven by these visceral emotions that you can feel in any given direction, and you should wait for those feelings to maybe level out a little bit and subside before you make a life-altering decision. decision. I think that's good advice, whether it's in dating, whether it's in purchases, whether it's in lifestyle, in any arena that you are in life. Let your initial visceral feelings that you feel for 10 minutes, as she said in this video, subside before you
Marry me.
Yes.
I've made a huge mistake.
go and make any major life-altering choices. I would sign off on that advice any day.
I've been with him 4 years and we still ain't moved out or have a ring, and currently he has no job. Then you're a prisoner. You've been kidnapped.
Oh, man.
Honestly, I don't even know why you're still there.
You know, I can see a lot of men having problems with this sort of rhetoric because she's equating like a man's value to how much finances he has, whether or not he's working, and what he provides for a woman. On the flip side, you have these alpha male podcasters, if that's what we want to call them,
I'm gonna roll up, flex it, come through, bam, champagne, bang, yeah, super cross-side, yeah, okay, 5 star.
who are equating women's value to their beauty, sexual desire, and having them exist on these two separate poles. So when you have somebody like an Andrew Tate or a Kevin Samuels, who yes, are saying things that can be true and dishing out that advice to young men, you're gonna have somebody like SheraSeven dishing out this advice, sprinkle, sprinkle, to young women and saying, you know what, if they're gonna play the game, we're gonna play the game too. My nuanced opinion on this would be, do not start a relationship with somebody who is unambitious. I'm totally fine with you dating somebody who is working on themselves or has a goal that they're actively working towards. It's different if they have no goals, they're not driven, they're not working towards anything. In order to become a rich man, sometimes you have to go through that struggle phase. So date a man who's driven.
Should I date an unemployed guy? What should I do if a guy doesn't offer to pay for my treatment? Should you date a broke, unemployed guy? If you ugly, and that is your last hope and dying wish, sure, go ahead. Who's gonna pay for the meal? Sprinkle, sprinkle.
That's it. I gotta say, the catchphrase is catchy. I get why women are attracted to this. She seems to be sitting in sort of this boss babe, feminine energy. All good things come to me. You know, I don't chase, I attract. And women, of course, are attracted to that sort of energy. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule as to these little metrics that we use to judge people.
I don't open up enough and that he can't trust me because I don't. Girl, make up something. Show him your insecurities, think I'm hiding things. Make up some fake insecurities that are not your triggers and tell him what he needs to hear. You know, that way he's going to try to trigger you. It's not going to really trigger you, but you're going to know what he's trying to do. So you can be ahead of the game. So make up get you a little Peter Piper, make up some fake stuff, make up some fake triggers, make up some fake insecurities, and go ahead and feed it to him. So when he try to feed it back to you and use them against you, you'll understand why he wanted you to open up. Okay? But go ahead and give him some fake stuff. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
No, this is one I can't get behind. There seems to be this element, not throughout all of the videos, but throughout some of them, of relationships being some sort of manipulation game of here's what you can say so that you can make him feel bad, and that he'll provide for you financially, or that he'll want to hustle and get a job. Here's what you can say when he brings valid concerns. That initial statement of he complains that I don't open up enough and that he can't trust me, that's a valid concern in a relationship. To advise that somebody just make up fake insecurities and throw them at the relationship, I don't think is the best advice. She sort of anticipates that you'll throw these fake insecurities at him and then he'll use them as triggers for you later on or to manipulate you. Why not just don't date somebody who is going to use that tactic? Do you want to date somebody who you constantly have to play games with and like use tactics to get ahead of them and move pieces on the chessboard? I don't care how much money that man has. I'm not dealing with manipulations and games. So maybe don't date a guy who makes you feel like you can't trust him enough to open up.
If you play dumb, play feminine. I can't do that. I don't know how to work this. They'll do everything for you. And they'll feel good about doing it because it makes them feel more masculine and intelligent, and they can impress you all at the same time. So don't be that independent. I don't need no man. I can do it myself. I know what I'm doing. You should do it this way instead. It's better type woman, because you're not going to get anything out of that. But resentment.
See, this is just game playing. Although I think what she just said is totally true. Go to a Home Depot and look around like you're confused and see how many guys walk up to you and start telling you what to do. Men thrive under the conditions of maybe being with somebody who they can provide for and do things for that they are incapable of doing themselves. Does that mean if you are a capable, independent woman that you should act like you don't know how to do things for the sake of ego and maybe helping your relationship out every now and then? Maybe you should do that. But if you're faking dumb, aren't you going to have resentment towards him for having to do that within your relationship rather than being who you truly are as an individual? Again, the manipulation tactics don't help anybody. It might boost a man's ego and get him to provide money for you. And if that's what you want, then fine, that's what you want. But at the end of the day, if you're giving away pieces of yourself in order to garner a certain result, you're going to resent the whole situation that you're in because you're not being yourself. And the more time you spend not being yourself in your life, the worse outcomes you're going to have.
Men like natural beauty want to feel his girlfriend was born a baddie. Well, we like natural money too. We brought in the money, but sometimes I don't have it. You gotta go out and create.
So men like natural beauty, women like natural money. It's kind of sad to me that relationships have been broken down in this way, where we're talking about just beauty and money and sex. When I think about my relationship or people that I know who are in successful relationships, it's never money and sex that are the center of the conversations there. It's values, it's things that you're learning, it's things that you're working on together or working toward together. Those are the beautiful things that are happening within successful relationships. Not money this, beauty that, sex this, sex that. These are things that maybe you worry about in the beginning when you're first getting to know somebody, but not in the long term. It shouldn't be something at the forefront of your brain.
But most Black women are overweight or obese. Well, you know why? Because you can't afford a gym membership for them. And they would rather eat than be with a broke man. They would rather sit down and prepare a meal for their kids and their family and eat and get fat because y'all aren't worth being skinny for. What we gonna be looking good and snatched for? To go get some coffee? Oh, I got to go to the gym. I might get invited out for some coffee tomorrow. Let me go get my brows waxed so I can get this coffee. Ooh, girl, I gotta go. I can't. I'm fasting, girl. I'm going to Applebee's tomorrow. What do we have to be skinny for? Y'all ain't taking us nowhere where we got to fit into something to look extra good. Y'all ain't taking us to no fundraisers. We ain't going to no gala. Y'all ain't getting no private jets to jet us off. Y'all ain't surprising us with plane tickets nowhere where we got to be snatched. Y'all trying to take us to Applebee's and to your mama house.
I disagree with that. I think there are elements of being in a relationship where you push each other to be healthy and be at a fit weight and looking good. And maybe those conditions revolve around going to galas and nice restaurants, and women want to look good for certain events. Yes, that's very true. But shouldn't you also want to look good for yourself and be healthy for yourself? And at what point can you start blaming your partner for conditions that you've placed yourself in? That is where the conversation goes for me. Of course, the conditions of your relationship can contribute to your health and where you are with your weight, but that is not the end all be all. And again, it just goes back to finances. You know, he's taking me to Applebee's and out to coffee rather than to galas and dinners. And it's just reductive in my opinion. But if this is what women want, and she's sought out an audience of women who are surely looking for financial partners rather than real life partners, then I guess, target audience met, sprinkle, they can follow her and take the advice. I can get why she's so popular. Again, especially in the age of alpha male podcasters who are spinning sort of the inverse of this narrative and selling that to young men. Why not have a woman who does the same and gives it to other women and gives them tactics to sort of combat some of the ideas that are happening out there? Do I think it's a force for good? No, not necessarily. But I feel the same way about the male podcasters who do the same. I would love to have an in-depth conversation with her about these ideas, because I imagine there's more nuance when you actually sit face to face and discuss the reasoning behind the content and this advice directed at women. Those are my thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree with my analysis of these videos? Do you have a separate point? Are you a fan of hers? And if you are, let me know why. And as always, we encourage healthy debate. Plus, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a new video for you guys, which is every day. You don't want to miss out.